Hello everybody. I'm doing this video to explain book crossing in a step-by-step guide so that everybody who wants to participate in our book crossing week will understand the entire process. So what is book crossing? Book crossing is creating an identity for each and every single book that you run across, so that you can follow its travels in the world. So every book that you register on BookCrossing.com will have what's called a BCID, and that is a book crossing identification, and that is the number that starts with a 3-digit and then has a longer number after it. And when you find a book, that is called catching a book. When you send a book off or give a book to a friend or leave a book in a library, that is releasing a book. Okay? So those are basically the main terms that you'll encounter in the very beginning. If you really like it, you'll get more involved, and there's a lot more things that you can do, and you can interact with other book crossers in the forums and play games and send books back and forth to each other. So there's a lot of fun that can be had. And so let's start off with the first process. You come to our little free library during our book crossing event on the 18th, 19th, and 20th. All the books that will be in there will be book crossed books, okay? And we're going to take this book that was just sent to us, okay, Tuesdays with Maury. And this is a book I've actually read. Now, when we open this up, you're going to see a book plate. Sometimes it's little, sometimes it's large, and sometimes it looks like mine. So people can create their own. And the number here, the BCID, that is the number that we're going to put in the website. Okay, and some of them will tell you who is the original book crosser and where it was released. Okay. So it was released in Kansas in December of 2024. So we'll take this number and we're going to put it in here. So it is 608 174 15915. That is going to show us the book, and it's going to give us how many stars it's gotten all over the place, and then it's going to ask you where you caught the book. Now, we caught the book in United States of America, in Florida, and Beverly Hills is the city. You can change the city, you can change the state, and if you're overseas, you can change the country. If you've read the book, you can rate it and write a review, and I have actually read the book, and I'm going to give it a 7. And I know it's been a long time. Okay, so it's been a long time since I've read this book, but I remember enjoying it and thinking my mom would probably love it more than I did. Okay, and then I'm going to add, this book was sent to us for our little free libraries book crossing event in May 2025. Now the status, if I was going to keep this book and read it, I would leave it to be read. If I don't really use available, I don't keep my permanent collection on here. If you become a raving book crossing addict, you will probably want to put your permanent collection on here, and they'll explain to you why they do it. Reserved is what I usually do if I'm going to hold on to a book. So if it's a book that someone's donated and it's not going into the library for months or whatever, then I'll put reserved. But we do have an event coming up, so we're going to put traveling. So the book is traveling, and then we're going to submit the journal entry. And there we go. Okay. Now I'm going to do something now out of order, and that is I'm going to release this book. So we're going to come here and we're going to click, it says new journal entry if I wanted to add. So if you have one of these books and you get it originally and you do the initial journal entry and just say that you caught the book and where you caught it, and then you read it and you want to add in your own thing, you can click a new journal entry. So you can click that and it comes up, and then you can do the same. But we're going to go back and we're going to make release notes, which is right here. And this is going to be a wild release, and I'll explain the different things in just a minute as I go through each type. We're going to click next, and we're going to it's going to be in Florida and Beverly Hills. In it'll say Little Free Library, DeSoto Street 22. This is how they do them because this is all over the entire world, and this is our charter number. So this is a method that BookCrossing.com has for its official book crossing zones, which we are. Now I'm going to click next, and I can schedule this release, which I'm going to schedule it for the 18th of May at 8 a.m. and then I'm going to click next, and this is something that I already have up, but it will be whatever you want to type. So mine is already there, but yours, unless you join the membership and get these little things called wings over here, you'll have to type in what your release notes is every time. So I just say I released it at the DeSoto Street Little Free Library in Beverly Hills, Florida, and then I explain, congratulations on finding this book crossing book, and welcome to book crossing, after my little paragraph. And then I'll click finish, and now it is ready to be released. So then I'll just put this aside, and I will release that on the 18th. Okay, now we're going to go over here to my page. One of the challenges is to create your own account for your family. You do not have to do that to win the challenge, okay? But if you do, you would create your account, and it would be like this, and then all of the books that you register will show up here, and your stats will show there. Okay, now let's register a book, which I did. Let's skip that because I showed you how to register. No, I didn't. Excuse me. I showed you how to log a book. Excuse me. All right. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a controlled release. A controlled release means that I'm releasing this book to someone I know. Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm sending this copy to another book crosser. Okay? So this is something that she wants to read, and I have it and I've read it. So we're going to go over here and we're going to register a book. I'm going to go up to home, and I'm going to look here and scroll down to register book. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look on the back, and I'm going to enter in the ISBN number. And this is a number that's on every book that's sold, unless it is a very old book before they started having these. So I enter in that number, the entire thing, without spaces or dashes. 6561. And then I'll click enter, and it'll show me copies of the book. And I'm going to select this one right here, and the title, the author, the ISBN number is here, and then I'm going to pick categories, and this is a historical fiction, so I'm going to click history. And then what am I doing? I am traveling this book. I have read it, so I'm going to put this as a 9, and I'm changing this because this was not something that was donated. This is from my personal collection. Great read. I learned something new. Did not know masters took their slave women on vacation with them. Vacation up north with them. And then I'm going to also put a note in here. I'm sending this to a fellow book crosser to grant a wish list item. And then I'll click here and I'll register the book. And then here is the new BC ID. This is the BookCrossing ID. And what I do is I take my sticker and I put the number right on this line. If you, of course, you don't have stickers, you can get their stickers like I showed you in that other book, or you can just write in, and it says, here is an example of what you can write into your book. So you don't have to worry about that. You can just copy what they have or put it in your own words. And I'm going to write the number down, 713-175-40299. Okay, so I have that there, and then I'm going to stick that in the book, which I will do after I make a prettier one that doesn't have the numbers all messed up. So that's what you do to do a controlled release. And I registered the book, and now I'm going to make release notes on the book. And you have a choice between wild and controlled. It's always going to revert to wild. So if you're giving this to someone that you know, you want to click on controlled release and then click next. And I'm sending it from here. Doesn't matter where it's going. This is actually going, I believe, Washington State. Okay, next. And I'm going to send this out on the 22nd. And probably around noon. And released here to a fellow book crosser to grant a wish list item. And finish, and now that's ready to be released. Let's talk about wild releases. Okay, there's two types of wild releases. So I ignore this because this means that you're going to release a book in the same exact location. So when I'm doing a whole stack of books for the library, that saves time, but most of the time I'll go down here and I'm going to register this book. This is the Constitution Kids. I won this from Goodreads. And this is going to be for a 4th of July special event that I'm working on. And it's going to, I'm not even going to tell you anything about it. Because I'm still working on it, but it is coming together. So I'm going to enter the ISBN number 978 889 138 3906. I am glad that this happened. So now I can show you. If you don't see the book, that's probably because it's so brand new. We'll skip search and we're going to enter in the ISBN number here, 978 889 138 3906. Okay. And then we're going to put the title is The Constitution Kids. And then we're going to put the author, which is Gary Gable. And then the categories. Now, this is a children's book, but it is also history. So I'm going to put it as children's book because that's what I tend to do. But you can do whatever category you believe it should be. And I'm going to put this as traveling because we do know that this is going to be for one of our events coming up. And I'm going to change this out and say, I won this book from Goodreads. Yay. This is part of a special event to celebrate the 4th of July. And now we have registered the book, and we have a new BC ID for this book. And I'm going to write this down. 29917540306. And then I will put the sticker on the inside of this book and put it aside for that special day. And we're going to make the release notes for it now. And this is going to be a wild release, so we don't have to click anything because it automatically goes to that. We're going to click next, and I'm going to leave this one in the little free library. Click next, and I know this is going to be for July 2nd. And we're going to do this about 9 o'clock. So click next and finish. And there we have a wild release. Now for another type of wild release, which I call the really wild release, or the wild release. And this is when you take a book and you leave it somewhere out in the open for someone to take. Okay, and this one is a book that was donated to our library, and I'm going to use this book for the wild release. So I'm going to go back up here, and we're going to register the book. And it doesn't have, see it's got a sticker over that. Let me show you where you can find the number that you need. On this information page, you will find the ISBN number. So let me, and of course I can't see, and this is as tiny as possible. So 9780425 290774. I have lost my way, and I'm going to select this. One of the things that I get irritated by is not capitalizing the titles of books. And I go back and I do it. So this is going to be literature and fiction. So we'll go down here, literature and fiction. And this is going to be traveling. And this was donated to us in May, but not by Betterwell Books. So we're going to buy a community member. Thank you. Okay. Register book. And then we have the BCID number, which is 633-175-40309. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to stick it on the inside of this book, okay? But I'm going to show you what I'm going to do next. When I leave a book out in the wild, I print these up, and I'm going to change this in June, okay? Because right now we're still riding the high of our grand opening, so I'm telling people that they missed it and they can come by. And so I will put this in a plastic Ziploc bag, and that's important. If you're leaving a book in a park or in another location, that you put it in something that is waterproof so that the book doesn't get damaged if somebody doesn't find it right away. So I've got it in this Ziploc bag, okay? And I'm going to put this I have a meeting in Citrus Springs on Wednesday, and I'm going to leave this somewhere that I have left other ones before. So I'm going to make a release note for this, and this is a wild release, and we're going to leave it not in Beverly Hills, but we're going to go to Citrus Springs. Citrus Springs, and then it'll pop up with what I have usually done. Now, you won't have all these different ones. You'll have to look for them, but sometimes that they will pop up if you maybe after you put the city in, if you refresh the page, sometimes they'll show up what's available. You don't have to leave it there. You can create your own by clicking Add a Zone. So Citrus Springs Community Center is where I'm going to leave this on Wednesday. And we're talking Wednesday is the 14th. So we're going to leave it on Wednesday the 14th at about 1 o'clock, maybe closer to 2, but we're going to put it at 1. And then we're done. So that one is ready. What is the final things I want to say? The books will be available on the 18th, 19th, and 20th. All of those books, those days, will be BookCrossing books. There may be some left after that, but those days, I'm hoping that there'll be enough that there'll be, because we've got boxes and boxes of books. 5 families will win a family prize pack. I need the number of adults in your family, the ages of your children, and your phone number, and I will customize a packet for your family. You'll get at least one coffee table type of book, and then some books for the kids and maybe some other goodies, depending upon what I get and find. So they are due to me, your forms, which will be in every single book. Every book has a form that you can fill out, and that's due 8 p.m. on Saturday the 24th. And whatever you want to do to add additional points, you can write it all down on the back of the page. And if you have any questions along the way, please ask. Thank you so much.